describe yourself as reserved and introverted. How does a man like that end up on every single newspaper in the world?
I just did what I did, and 2 hours later, phone starts going berserk.
Patrick Hutchinson.
Patrick Hutchinson was described as a hero.
So many things tried to get in the way of me being there on that day, and I still managed to make it there.
That's God's work, right?
I just don't want to stand there and watch someone get kicked to death or stomped to death.
But it's just about consistency and showing up. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there.
Like, if anyone asks you what's your biggest achievement in life, any mother or any father should say, raising my children. Did you cry?
Did I cry? Thanks for coming, Pat. This is episode 2 of Really Know Your Life, and today we're going to talk about goal setting. I won't describe you. How would you describe yourself?
Just an everyday man, a father, a grandfather, a man just trying to do his best to leave the world in a better place than how he found it.
That's pretty humble of you, Pat. That's very humble of you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've got a few questions, and I've kind of get into these questions so we can get more of an insight to you. And we're going to touch on goal setting and how you've done that throughout your life. So question 1 is, you were raised by a single mother who went without for you. How did that shape what you decided to become?
So in terms of it shaping who I decided to become, when I was young, I didn't know particularly what I wanted to do. I think, like most young boys, I wanted to play football or something, but I wasn't too sure. But being raised by my mum, a single mum, what it did do for me is really, really appreciate my mother, appreciate work ethic. She had 3 jobs. She actually had a morning cleaning job, and then she'd come back, get us ready for school, get us off to school, then work during the day, pick us up from school, and then set us up in the evening and go off to work in the evening and leave us alone. And I had to look after my little sister while she was at work. She had 3 jobs, so I saw her work ethic. And I think my respect, I'm a real big cheerleader for women in general. I have 3 girls, 3 daughters myself. Mm-hmm. And I just can't have anyone tell me anything negative about women, because I was raised by mainly women. I was really close to my grandmother, who passed away last year. And my mum as well. Obviously, I'm really close to my mum. So, I'm just a big advocate for women. And anything they're doing, I'm there to support. Okay,
and you mentioned you went to play football. What team were that? So I know you were born in Coventry originally, right?
Yeah, I was born in Coventry originally. So I do keep an eye on Coventry. I spent very little time there. I mean, I was born there, and I came to London and probably started school, time for primary school. So about 4 years old, I came to London. So I spent 4 years in Coventry that I don't really remember. But yeah, I'm from Cov originally. I lived in Thornton Heath for 17 years, so okay. I got a bit of an affiliation for Palace as well, Crystal Palace. But I grew up supporting Man United because my uncle supported Man United, and I followed my uncle. Okay,
and Coventry potentially going up.
No, they are up.
They are up?
Yeah, the champions. Lampard has managed them this season, and he's got them to the Premiership.
Look at that. I mean, I can completely identify with the work ethic thing. My mum also had 2 jobs, several jobs. I think that's where, that's where I kind of, not really having my father present, that's really where I kind of learned my work ethic is. And I think a lot of it also ties into my work. It also ties into the messages that I got quite young as well. I'm sure you can identify. If you look a certain way, if you're black, then you have to work 3 times harder.
Yeah.
And in some respects, I think that was it's double-edged. It's like, it was a positive thing, but at stages in my life I can see where it's been quite a negative thing, where I've been pretty close to burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. You spent 25 years in corporate finance and then walked away. What goals were you chasing, and when did you realise it wasn't for you?
So I worked in. I started out as a computer operator. I worked in IT infrastructure, generally. Started off as a computer operator, became an incident manager, and then went on to become a project manager. In the just over 20 years, I was working in the corporate world. Worked for Westpac Banking Corporation, which is an Australian bank, Rabobank, which is a Dutch bank, BNP Paribas, French, Nomura, Japanese. Before Nomura, it was Lehman Brothers, and then Nomura took over. Citibank, American. So literally USB Warburg as well, which took over a company called Payne Webber. So I've literally done a lot of the investment banks in the banking world. Originally, when I first started, I just wanted to probably get to real senior management level, board level. When you're getting comfortably over 100 grand, no problem. Working maybe 4 days a week. One day at home. That's kind of what the goal was at the time. But I quickly realised, I want to say quickly, and actually not really quickly, to be honest. I realised sort of when I hit 40 that it's a who knows who type of
the network, old boys.
Yeah, old boys club. Those who go down and have a drink on a Friday.
Probably play rugby at the weekend.
Yeah, probably play rugby or golf, or golf at the weekend or whatever.
Club.
Those are the people in their close-knit circles that make it to senior management. It's not about your ability or anything else. It's who you know. And I realised that, and I thought to myself, I don't want to be part of this. So I slowly fell out of, to be honest, I wasn't in love with working, to be honest, but I did enjoy working in the city because I had made loads of friends, and it wasn't too bad, and the money was good, especially contracting. So yeah, when I got to about 40, 41, I realised this wasn't for me anymore. And it was a case of, what am I going to do now? Because I've got mortgage to pay, I've got children to take care of. And, everyone used to say to me, yeah, you should be a PT, because, you're good at this and that. And whenever I used to train with people, I'd always end up leading the sessions and stuff. So it was the quickest turnaround. I went and did a personal training certification, and bang, that was it. I became a personal trainer, started working for myself.
Yeah, very similar sort of stuff, because you would have been you were at Nomura.
Yeah.
And they were Lehman Brothers.
Right.
And Lehman Brothers, that recession, but it was triggered by Lehman Brothers, was probably about
2008, wasn't it?
2008.
Yeah.
So I remember that very clearly.
Yeah.
2008 is my industry pretty much dried up. I always worked in TV and events. Right? Or TV and corporate events. My industry dried up. There was no work. And I was like, what am I going to do? Same as you, mortgage to pay. I literally just got my... Because those days you still get 100% mortgage. I got 110% mortgage.
Wow, 110%.
And that probably off the back of...
Off the the prime, the subprime...
The prime,
mortgage,
the peak.
Yeah.
The peak before the massive bull run, before the...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Before the massive bear run, right? So then that was it, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I'd already started jiu-jitsu at that point, And I also probably, I didn't realise we had such similar backgrounds. I literally did my PT course. I did a PT for a couple of years, and I was like, I don't know how these people work in these gyms. I don't know how these people work for
I couldn't do it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. So that's why I decided to type in Performance 360 up in Crystal Palace. God rest their soul. But
you got a little bit further than me, because that was the goal, was to have my own space, probably in my own gym. Working in a gym was never the model. Even now I think about it, it's awful. Paying rent to nah.
you're paying rent,
Yeah.
plus you're doing classes for them.
Yeah.
And they're charging you out at 60, 70 pounds an hour.
Yeah.
And then you're getting
Pittance.
pittance.
And they're taking money from the income that you receive from doing the PTing, like 12%, 20%, whatever the cut is, as well on top. You know, it's paying the rent. It's not a very good model. Like,
No.
so working for yourself, because I became a track coach as well. So I started coaching athletics, children's athletics. So what I realised very quickly is that when you become a qualified coach with England Athletics, you have access to most tracks in the country. Like, you can walk in, just flash your pass. So I could then train people, especially when the weather was good, take them to the track and use the facilities.
So you use track in Battersea?
No, I used Tooting, mainly Tooting.
Right.
Sometimes the one in Croydon, but mainly Tooting track.
Okay.
Which is where the Hale Harriers are based.
Okay, Pat, thank you. Very insightful. So you carried Bryn Mawr to safety, and you've never spoken since, or have you?
No.
Since? Has that unfinished story sat with you? Let's have a look at Bryn. Has that unfinished story sat with you? And what would you like to say to him, if you could?
Okay, so I don't want to burst anyone's bubble or anything, but I personally haven't got anything to say to the man. I'd be interested to see what he had to say to me off the back of what happened. But I did what I did at the time because I felt it was the right thing to do. I'm the kind of person that's just not going to stand around and watch, a woman be attacked by a man or a group of people attacking one person, regardless what that one person may have done. I just don't want to stand there and watch someone get kicked to death or stomped to death. It's just, if it's a fair fight, by all means, do your thing. But that many people, jumping on one individual, it just wouldn't sit right for me, with me, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So, I did what I thought was the right thing to do at the time, and I intervened. And the rest is history. I didn't expect anything from it. I didn't expect any props, any thank yous, nothing. I just did what I did, and 2 hours later, the phone starts going berserk.
Okay. An interesting story though, Pat, because it was you, Chris, Hutchinson, right?
Or Taquito, yeah.
Derek? Was it Derek?
No, Lee Russell.
Lee Russell.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
Jermaine Facey.
Jermaine Facey. What about Go-Go? Go-Go?
Yeah.
Go-Go Pierre, right?
Bush was there as well, yeah.
Okay.
At the time.
Because I had the call the day before. Chris Hutchinson called me and said, "Are you coming?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming in." And he said, "Right, make sure we're in black, this, that, blah, blah, blah." And then I told my ex-wife at the time, I said, "Look, I'm going up there to make sure that with these guys, to make sure there's no trouble with the kids and with the younger generation, because I think that's inspiration what you did, making sure that they didn't, because it could have gone." So to cynical context, this is the Black Lives Matter March 2020, right? 13th of August. It could have gone either way, right? But the point is, I should have been there, Pat. I wasn't there.
Chris told me you were scared. That's why you never turned up.
But I think
I wasn't joking.
if I was there, Pat,
That might have been. Yeah.
I think if I was there, I think it could have been me getting all the glory.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
Is it something you would have done, you think?
It's something I would have done. I think it's something I would have, had I not had that influence from outside, had I gone with my own conscience, then definitely I would have been there.
Yeah. I mean, to be there, I know you would have definitely been there, but do you think you would have actually...
I don't know. I think,
Because most
if I'm honest, I think you were probably the right man for the job.
When I tell you that so many things happened to almost stop me being there, I knew I had to be there to do that one thing, because so many things tried to get in the way of me being there on that day, and I still managed to make it there.
That's God's work, right?
Yeah.
Put you in the right
So
place at the right
like
time.
I was destined to do it because, you know, whoever knows, I was probably the only person, one of the few people willing to do something like that, you know. So yeah.
My
I
hat
had
goes
to be
off
there.
to you, sir. Okey doke. You describe yourself as reserved and introverted. How does a man like that end up on every single newspaper in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying to Dan earlier that I don't like the limelight. I'm not, you know, a fan of sort of being centre and front, whether people believe that or not. But I'm not. But you know, I was thrust into the public spotlight, and I had no choice. So I just tried to be as normal as possible. Tried, you know, you want your personality to come out. You don't want to try and pretend to be something that you're not, because I think you get found out very quickly. So I just, you know, the little advice I had, I never had any coaching to speak or anything. It was just a case of just be yourself, and so I was. But I think I've managed to deal with it fairly well, I think. And I still don't like being in the spotlight. I mean, opportunities came my way. I got advised, I had people around me, you know, go into become an MP, you know, run for mayor one day and all this other stuff. And I just let a lot of people down. I said, no, it's just not for me. I don't want the smoke. I don't believe in the system that much anyway. I believe you're wasting your time with all this stuff, because like there's a very small number of people that hold all the power and all the wealth in this world, and they don't want to make the world a better place. So us pretending that we're, you know, becoming MPs and prime ministers and whatever, you don't run anything. So I just feel like it's.
I guess you've had we're working in the financial sector. First-hand knowledge of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's an example of it. You don't, you know, you can't change anything. The only way things will change, not to, you know, run off topic, is some kind of a revolution, and the people that hold the power lose that power, and people that actually care about outcomes and how the world, and want to make the world a better place, take over and have positions of power. But right, the way it is now, it's as you can see, the world's going to shit.
It's kind of in line with your book, isn't it? That sort of methodology.
Yeah.
Everybody against racism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hence. Check out that.
Yes.
Thailand changed you. What did those training camps take from you, and what did they give you back?
Yeah, Thailand was like a real eye opener. You know, I got into Thai boxing. It's actually a guy, you know him as well, a guy called Dean Nichols.
Okay.
He's a good friend of mine. And he introduced me to Thai boxing many years ago. And then I got really into it, and then I went to Thailand, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna you know, train with the pros. Well, that wasn't the plan, to train with the pros. But what happened was I turned up in Thailand, and you know, back then I was pretty ripped, and I look like a fighter.
You look the part.
I look the part. So what they've gone and done is they've thrown me in with the pros, because they looked at me and you know, gone, yeah, chocolate man, no, I'm squeezing my calves and my legs and yeah, you train with. So.
Whereabouts in Thailand were you?
Sorry?
Which part of Thailand?
Firstly, I went to Phuket first, and then after that, it's mainly been Pattaya.
Okay.
So they put me in with the pros, and I nearly died. Like the training, I was not ready for none of that. You know, I wasn't ready for it. But at the end of it all, I came away thinking, yeah, I want more of this, but maybe not at that level, but I want more of this. So I started to return every year, but I would train with like the other foreigners, the Farangs, other foreigners, wannabe fighters. So people that were, fairly fit, but still needed a lot of work on their Muay Thai skills and, fitness levels. So I would be with that group, and I enjoyed it. But like, it was never easy. It was always hard.
Did you fight out there?
No, because I was still working in the city at the time.
Right.
I didn't want to
get battered up.
Remember Fight Club, like turning up to work.
Face will mash up.
Yeah, my face would mash up and stuff. It wasn't worth that. But I came close because they really want you to.
They really want,
They see you look the part, and you're hitting and kicking the pads, and they think, yeah, you can fight. No, that's not.
Exactly. I think getting elbowed in the face to wake you up.
Yeah, it's a bit much. But I love Thailand. It's my favourite place on the planet, to be honest.
Okay.
And it just it definitely taught me grit and determination. Built up my mental fortitude. Like the closest I've never been in the army, or haven't got a military background, but I guess it's the closest thing I'll ever get to experiencing what it was like, to be in the army or something. It was really difficult, but rewarding at the end of it, So yeah.
Yeah, martial arts does it to you.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Keep you in track. Just make you. I don't know. My experience is it just humbles me. A very humbling experience. I had a really similar sort of experience in Brazil. Right, you go to Brazil, black belt. I went to Brazil first time maybe a year after I got my 2014, because it was when the World Cup was on. So I went to go work at the World Cup in Salvador. I remember walking in this gym, and this guy's name, there's a Brazilian guy with blonde hair, and they called him Four, as in God of Thunder, right? I'm thinking, I can hang with this guy. This guy broke me up. Do you know what you're talking about? I shouldn't be praying, because, man, seriously, this guy, I never experienced him. I mean, he beat me up. I mean, he's student, and I'm like, it just utterly destroyed me. But it was a humbling experience. Like to train in the pilgrimage, going training I guess Thai boxing in Thailand.
Yeah.
For me to get to Brazil and train in the environment was it was all well and good having a black belt, but I had to experience that for myself. And then I went over to Rio and trained all the clubs I went to training in Rio as well. So I completely identify with that experience. And being a fish out of water, and being humbled, I'd recommend it to anyone. Martial arts. The next question: you became a father at 19. You raised your son alone. What goal did that force you to set that you never would have chosen for yourself?
So, just to give it some context, my son came to live with me at the age of about. Me and his mother always dispute this. I think he was about 6. He says he's older than that, maybe 9 or whatever. So maybe somewhere in the middle, let's say. But she was having trouble with him, and she always said when we split up that, like boys in the hood, he's going to come and live with you one day or whatever. So, about the age of, say, 7, I guess he came to live with me. And before I, decided to take him on full time, I spoke to my mum, said, Mum, can you help me? Dominic's mum wants him to come and live with me, and I don't know if I can do it on my own. She said, of course, take your son, we'll raise him. And so my mum and my sister Pauline as well were there, helped me along the way. And so, we raised Dom, and also my girlfriend at the time, who is my second child, Tyler's mum. She was also like a surrogate mum as well to my son. So, all these women were around me, supporting me to raise my son as a single father. So, I have to add context to that. So what you say, how did me raising my son attribute to goals, did you say?
Yeah, so what goal did that force you to set that you never would have chosen for yourself?
I don't know if I can turn around and say it forced me to set a particular goal. I mean, I knew for certain that, growing up without a father, I was never gonna let my son not have a father. So that was the first thing that I was adamant, regardless of any circumstances, I was going to be there for my son, for all my children, because being a young man without a dad, as you know what it's like as well. There's such a void. There's times when you really need to have a father figure. Remember one time getting beaten up in the park, and coming back and just slamming doors, and all I had was my mum and my sister. I had no one to take back to the park to go and get revenge, So yeah, I always was going to be there for my son and raise him in the best possible way. We're talking about 19, I was 19, 20, coming on 20. Now, I'm in my 56th year. The father that I am today is head and shoulders way different from the man, even boy still at 19, 20. I mean, I did the best I could, but just experience alone and the things I've done with my two younger girls versus what I've done with my son, it's like night and day. It's if you had the knowledge and you knew what you knew now, the things that you would do differently, that definitely that sits with me.
Yeah, there's no blueprint, is there? It's very.
Especially if you've never had a father, you'd have
very challenging.
You've got nothing to model it off of.
To give that some context as well on my side, my dad was, I'd say he was around, but emotionally unavailable.
Okay.
I'd say that's probably one of the points. My parents divorced when I was about 12, and then that relationship was, but I completely identify with being a father now, not having that experience, not having had that experience of fatherhood. Being a dad now, it's like sometimes you just make it up on the fly. It's like I don't know exactly what to do. So what I have done though is that I kind of look at what some of my peers have done, rather than just looking at what family have done. Some people that I find that have been an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
What would you? One particular person I mentioned, they passed now. They passed at the start of the year, but my friend Trevor Toussaint, God rest his soul. It's like, man, one of my mentors, just like, and even now he's passed, and I'm having a situation with my son now. I'm like, what would Trevor do? What would Trevor do? So it's just like, it's difficult. Like being fatherhood is a challenging thing because, like I said, there's no wrong or right way.
No, there's no manual.
There's no manual.
It's
I just think a lot of the things that I thought it was actually, which is about this stuff really. A lot of stuff I thought it was, which was like, let's go making money. Make sure they've got a roof over their head. Make sure they can get here, there, everywhere. Actually, that stuff is probably less and less important. And what's more important is showing up. It's just no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation is, because I co-parent 50-50, which has its own challenges, but it's just about consistency and showing up. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there.
Yeah. I think it's hands down the most difficult job we'll ever have, but the most rewarding. That's one way of putting it. I feel like it has its challenges. But you just wouldn't have it any other way. And it's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. And it's like if anyone asks you, what's your biggest achievement in life? Any mother or any father should say, raising my children. That should be the number one thing they should say. I don't care what else, not your BJJ gold medals, worlds or whatever else. It's raising your children. That should be the number one.
Jiu-Jitsu's are pretty close.
Yeah, it can come close.
I don't know, man. I'll have to read it now. No, I actually said this to my son in his birthday card yesterday. I actually wrote, I love you more than jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
That's a lot.
So it was his birthday yesterday?
His birthday yesterday.
How old is he?
14.
14.
And next level.
What's his son's name?
Milo.
Milo.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Milo.
Happy birthday, Milo. That camera there.
Yeah, happy birthday, Milo.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate. Happy birthday, Milo. We love you. We all love you. Right. Next question. Right. Okay. It's probably my favourite one actually. We've just been talking about jiu-jitsu, so it's a nice little segue into the next question. You trained Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you competed and you won and you earned your purple belt. Come on, faixa roxa. Come on, let's go. What did that faixa roxa Portuguese for purple belt? What did that journey teach you about setting a goal and seeing it through?
Firstly, can I add that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the hardest thing I've ever done. When I say the hardest, it's because it's consistently hard. It's not like okay, when I was in the Thailand training camps, that was really hard, really difficult. You know, kicking banana trees, to toughen up your shins and all of that stuff, and kicking.
Actually, like kickboxing the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But jiu-jitsu, the constant sparring, you know, and like when you first start it, the first few years, you just like, you know the analogy, you got the nail and you got the hammer. You are the nail, consistently the nail for such a long period of time, you know, getting beaten up by everybody until somebody else newer than you walks through the door. And I think when I look at anyone that does jiu-jitsu and consistently, I just know that person's got a particular like level of mental fortitude, you know, mental strength, because so many people start it and never continue it, they give it up. And the first time I ever did it, it was like a I thought, okay, that was really a horrible experience. I'm either going to continue doing this or I'm going to sort of give it up and just like walk around knowing that I've got this massive weakness in my arsenal. And I, excuse the pun, I know you're an arsenal supporter.
Come on, top of the leg.
But I just thought, you know what, I've got to continue this thing, because I just can't know that there's something, you know, all it takes is somebody to wrestle me to the ground and I'm mincemeat, you know. So I just stuck with it. I have a training partner who is 60, 5 years older than me even, and he's awesome, and he loves jiu-jitsu more than me, certainly.
And he's your accountability
and
partner.
he keeps, like, if he's going to get a black belt, then I'm going to get one. That's how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously my coach, Reece Bailey, like, he also sits me down and has conversations with me when certain things are getting to me. And
Did Reece win silver in Brazil?
Yes.
Man, the guy's a beast.
And he won gold previously.
Yeah. And the Masters.
Yeah, in Brazil. Yeah, I think was it adult? I can't remember if it's master or adult. But anyway, yeah. So it's been a long old journey, and I think that, like I say, I would have given it up had it not been for those individuals, 100%.
No one else?
So again?
No one else?
Don't even go there. Like I'll come to you. You know, I'll come to you in a bit. There was another guy called Jules as well that really helped me out as a white belt. He's the guy that got me to do my first competition, and he's also from like New School.
That's it. That's my line. So originally we were BJJ school in Battersea.
Oh right, okay.
Number on Hope Street. No, Hope Street.
Yeah.
So we started BJJ school in Battersea in Hope Street, and then there was a bit of a change of the guards, and they became New School BJJ.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but that was the original school. And originally our instructor Felipe Souza, he was from Roger Grace. So he was at Roger Gracie's. He then moved to Battersea, started BJJ school. A lot of us from other teams came to BJJ schools. We heard how good it was, and it was really good times, man. Having guys like Reece. I remember Reece we joined when he was a white belt. He was tough then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So we're connected.
Yes.
Lots of connections, huh?
I think a lot of the schools are connected, aren't they? A lot of the schools are connected. Like I know, like for example, you know, like Mandala, where you've trained there with Vinny. Mm-hmm. I know that they are from the same lineage as New School. Like the guy, the head coach or whatever. I think the
Yeah, I
head
think
coach is-
the big connection there is
Yeah.
Leo, my master now is Leo Teixeira.
That's it.
So that's a connection. He was Felipe's coach. He was Vinicius' coach.
Yeah.
So that's the connection there.
Jules, who was down at New School in Battersea, he's a brown belt now. He sort of basically literally booked my first competition. I remember it was in Hereford, a masters competition up in Hereford. He was doing it and he said, yeah, you do it as well. And he literally booked it, and we were drilling at his house, got mats at his house, we were drilling and trying to, get the moves down to perfection for the competition. So like, yeah, shout out to him as well. And like I said, Paul, PPJ, we call him, 60, the toughest 60-year-old you'll ever meet in your life. Yeah, his case of Katami is legendary if you ever get to roll with him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm just giving away his secret now.
I'm coming for you, Paul. Oh, my case of Katami.
No, his
His?
case
Oh,
of
okay, his
Katami
Katami.
is legendary.
Okay.
People run from it.
What competition was it you won?
So it was English Open. I won gold, medium heavy. And I guess when I've looked at jiu-jitsu, a lot of people say they want to be a sort of a black belt and stuff. I've always taken it one step at a time. Like when I was a white belt, all I wanted was a blue belt.
Mm-hmm.
That took its time. Once I was a blue belt, all I wanted was a purple belt. Now that I'm a purple belt, all I want is a brown belt. Because it's such a long journey and such a long process that many people, as we know, give up at blue belt because the time it takes to become a blue belt, like a proficient blue belt in jiu-jitsu, is the time it can take to be a black belt in other martial arts. Literally, if you're a blue belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the average person on the street, you're a massive problem for them if they decided that they wanted to get into an altercation with you. It means a hell of a lot. Like 5 years, or so of training. So for me, the goal's always been broken down into small bits, just each belt one bit at a time. And like now the goal is to get to brown belt, and then one day when I get to brown belt, it'll be okay, black.
Yeah, I guess that's really insightful because actually I never really thought about it like that, but that is what I've done. But it is actually a good way to set goals, like your macro cycles. You have a small mesocycle, a mesocycle, right? And I guess that is completely identified. Because I remember at one stage I was just hunting those belts, Like I remember when I was it must have been when I was a brown belt and I had maybe 2 stripes. I just remember being in class, and this is a point where I kind of thought to myself, I'm going to start chasing belts. I know the black belt is coming. I saw somebody else get the black belt, and I was like, how come you got yours now? So I was like, let me just start chasing these belts. And then we just focus on having fun, competing, conditioning, nutrition. Now, this was when we were at Battersea on Hope Street. I remember one time, the instructor, Felipe, at the time, started making this announcement at the end of the class. This guy's competing well. He's a strength conditioning coach. He's doing he's winning all his competitions. He's turning up. He's coaching, and I'm looking around thinking, who's he talking to? He's going to grade somebody, but who's he talking about? And next thing he goes, Ed Brown, and he gave me my 2 stripes, which meant if you got 4 stripes on your, obviously if you've got 4 stripes on your brown belt, your next belt's going to be your black belt. And that's when the big grading, and shortly after that, a big grading happened. And I think there were 7 of us. We called ourselves the 7 Samurai, and 7 of us got black belts on the same day. So completely that approach to having that same approach to goal setting, like now, it's like consistency is key, man. It's not about it's like, there's anything you're trying to achieve, it's like there's peaks and troughs and peaks and troughs and peaks and troughs. And I guess jiu-jitsu for me has always been like the thing where sometimes I come in and I'm like, especially the past couple of years with the cancer, I'm like, and on hormone treatment, I'm like, these guys are just mashing me there. They're just mashing me up. I don't want to go back to it's like that sort of pressure, but still turn up anyway. It does take a certain type of this sport does take a certain type of character to go through that. I think my reason for staying was this armbar. I got this armbar. It's most, I can't straighten my arm. I got armbar when I was a white belt. As a producer, I can't straighten it. And I've had about 4 operations. But I was like, there's no way I'm going to have this broke up arm. For no reason. It doesn't make any sense. And I walk around and not going to straighten my arm and look all strange, you know, for nothing. So I just kept going. And it was just like stripe after stripe after stripe. And I was starting to join competing. And I just kept going. But it's just such a good metaphor for life, jiu-jitsu. Sometimes you're in some really difficult positions. Sometimes you're under a lot of pressure. Sometimes you are just, like you said, you're just getting beat up. But you just got to persevere.
Did you cry when you got your black belt? Did you cry?
Did I cry? I think I did. I know I did the longest speech ever, but I think I didn't cry, but it was a. This is another conversation. But I think at that phase in my life, I just touch on this because it can probably. But no, it's a good bit of awareness, essentially. It's a good bit of awareness. We won't touch on it, we go into it. At that point, no matter what goal I would have achieved, it wouldn't have touched the sides because it would never have been enough.
Right.
So I had my son, I got my black belt. At that point, I'm still married. 2013, the twins were on their way. I wasn't happy. I wasn't a happy person, so I didn't cry. But I was like, I got the black belt. I was like, okay, so what's next? So that's a theme in my life. But like, don't pause and take it in. It's just go, 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 go. Okay, let's go on to the next question, Pat. Top 3 songs that give you inspiration and motivation.
That's bloody difficult, to be honest. I know one song I will play if, I'm not often, I think the word depressed is probably a bit strong for me because I don't often feel like I'm depressed. But if I feel down, not myself, if I play Optimistic by the Sounds of Blackness, that always lifts my spirits, makes me smile, and I actually, sing it as well.
That song gets in, man.
So yeah, there's that. Outside of that, I just like I'm a big hip hop man, and I like a bit of grime as well, So yeah, I can't. What I'll do, I can tell you, like I love my Talib Kweli. I'm a big Outkast fan. Like Boy Better Know, and then like if we're talking about grime.
Early grime, Big Boy Better Know.
Yeah, like JME, Man Don't Care About All That. Those, but yeah.
I can't play that tune and train, bro. There's certain songs I can't play and train because everyone forget Brock. I cannot play Capletons, do them because everyone's everyone's finished up in here, boy. If I play Capleton, everybody better know what I'm on because if you hear me put that on, trust me, it's time.
Man Don't Care About All That.
And that as well is probably another one. That in a playlist with that, I have to dial it down when I'm training. There's another one. But again, I'd echo Optimistic. That will just like.
Yeah, but in terms of uplifting.
That's the one.
Make you feel,
Yeah. Okay, Pat. Thank you for coming, man. It's been insightful.
No worries.
An absolute pleasure.
It's not been a pleasure getting beat up. You knew it was coming, innit? It's not been a pleasure getting beat up by you, but don't worry.
But you said to yourself, it's a humbling experience, and you've learned from it. So long may the beatings continue. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.